Hey everybody, Vexian here, and today I am playing some Kerbal Space Program, and I've been playing a lot of this game lately because, what was it, 2 days ago or maybe 3 days ago or something like that? They just released the Alpha 0.22 release, which comes with the brand new career mode. Previously, it was just a sandbox. So, I've been just playing. I am really bad at this game, I must warn you, but I figured I'd give it a shot anyway. I'm going to name this Vexian Space Program. I'm going to keep the default Kerbal Space Program flag, and we're doing career, not sandbox, and let's get this started. Now, this is the Kerbal Space Center. We have this big building in the middle is our vehicle assembly building. We have our spaceplane hangar right here. What's this? Our astronaut complex, where we can train and hire new astronauts to fly our crazy-ass missions. There's our rocket launch pad. Our tracking station, where we can see all of our vehicles that are in progress, and we can also use that to recover. And then this, most importantly, this is brand new with the new 0.22. It is our research and development station. This is where we get our brand new parts, and it's like a tech tree. So right now we only have the basic stuff. We have a command pod Mark 1, we have a LV-T30 liquid fuel engine, and various other basic components. The Mark 16 parachute doesn't have an icon. That's kind of a bug. But yeah, as we progress and do various scientific experiments, we can unlock more of the tech tree. And you don't actually get to see the tech tree until you've researched its prerequisite. Or a prerequisite. I don't think they have multiples. But yeah, this requires 5 science points and have the previous thing in the chain. So yeah, what does that give you? A T400. Okay, so we don't have a very good amount of parts, but I will start off with, obviously, our command pod. And my first mission is not going to be anywhere, because, as I just showed you, my research tech tree is nothing. So I am actually just going to, let me zoom in on this, add a little thing here. I'm gonna make this look vertical. There we go, and put it on the side like that. That's my little communications communications antenna, so I can send reports. Now, I'm not actually going to lift off, but I'm adding a parachute to this command pod because eventually we will be adding to this. And I think this is going to be my first rocket. Now, it doesn't look like much, but I will be getting some science points if this would ever load. Now, here's my little command pod on the launching platform. What I'm going to do is right-click on it, go to Crew Report, and I've recorded a report from the launch pad. You've recorded the crew's assessment of the situation. It's worth 1.5 science points. So I'm going to transmit that data You could see the antenna extending, and then it descends, and that was my first crew report. Now I'm going to take Jebediah Kerbal, who is our little green space hero. I'm going to let go of that command pod. He kind of falls down. And here I am, just, let me zoom in. There, he's just standing on top of his launch pad in his little EVA suit. I'll right click on him, click EVA report, and he goes, I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? But it was worth 2.4 science points. And while I'm here, I'm also going to take a surface sample, which is worth a whopping 9 science points. And it says the surface is charred and coated with burnt rocket propellant. I don't know what from, because I haven't launched anything. There's also trace amounts of conspicuous green substance. Well, I'm going to keep that data. And do I want to plant a flag? No, I don't think I'm going to. So let me zoom back out a bit. Let me get close to the command pod, hit grab, and now I'm bored. And it says surface sample stored and the EVA report stored. And that was my first mission. I know, very boring, right? But that gave me 12 science points. Which, that's kind of a lot, considering how much I've done. So now, with my 12 science points, I'm going to go into my research tree, get basic rocketry, which gives me 2 different types of fuel tanks, a 100 and a 400. My mystery goo, which is another scientific experiment, and most importantly, a stack decoupler. Now, I only have 7 research points left, so I don't have enough to do anything. So now I'm actually gonna add to this rocket. So that's my rocket. I'm just gonna move it up a bit. Now, I have the antenna on here. I don't think... Actually, I'm going to move the antenna. Just... Such a small target to grab. There we go. And put the antenna back on there. I can't put it on the front because that's the crew hatch. So I have to put it on the back or the side. I mean, I can put it anywhere, but I want to try to keep things symmetrical. I'm going to go into science. I'm going to add mystery goo. I'm going to do 2 times symmetry. And I'm going to put the mystery goo containers on the side like that. Now, it looks a little weird. But you need a couple of these. Now, right below, I'm going to put a stack decoupler. And what this is going to accomplish is, when I'm done with my burn, I can separate this part, the command module, from everything else, and hopefully keep things intact. Now, I don't think I will be able to make it anywhere, but I will try my hardest. So now let me just add 1 400. I don't have any landing legs, do I? No, I do not. And I only have the T300 or T30. This is not a very good rocket, but I will try my best to use it. Now I'm going to put a stack decoupler under there. I'm going to set my staging as I go, because otherwise I might forget. Now let me add, okay, that should be good. Yeah, this is gonna just be a very long and tall rocket, I think. But it might work. So that's that. I'm gonna put a... I don't want to make it too tall. Actually, that should be good. I don't have any radial decouplers, so I'm gonna just go with these bad boys right here. I'm gonna do 3 times symmetry. Let's get that in the middle, like that. Let me put some decouplers underneath there, then add 3 more, see if I can get them to stick, like that. Then more, and then 1 more set. Sometimes it's hard to get these snap points to go. Okay. That should be that. But to get this thing, because I don't have any way of balancing this, this rocket, I need to have these things be, solid fuel boosters be the legs. So I want to have them below the actual liquid fuel rocket. So my first stage is going to be those 3 rockets. Then I'm going to decouple them. And launch the next stage, which is that. Then decouple those. And I think I'm gonna burn these solid boosters and my main tank. And what I'm also gonna do, I learned this trick from another YouTuber who goes by the name of Scott Manley, who, on his first ever space mission in this game, landed on the second moon orbiting this planet. Landed, took a surface sample, and made it back. And he did that without the stack decouplers, or the mystery goo. Although the mystery goo didn't help him, but he did it without the stack decouplers. He basically made it so that his solid fuel boosters burned in sequence and just exploded the ones below it, which is a crazy design. So this is my spacecraft. Now the reason why I put command pods on here is because this rocket has no way of easily turning. So these command modules add a slight amount of torque so that I can actually turn. So I'm gonna call this thing, I'm not gonna call it Untitled Spacecraft, I'm gonna call this the Kerbal Orbiter Mark 1. And I'm gonna save it. And I have the, let's just make sure I have first line of solid boosters. That doesn't matter. Decouple second line, decouple third line, and the liquid decouple, that's that, and then decouple, and then everything looks good to me. So this is going to be my launch. Now before I go, Let me get a crew report. Actually, trash that real quick. Let me observe mystery goo. Keep data. Crew report. Send the transmission. I'm going to send this transmission as well. Okay. Now that I'm actually going to be lifting off, my first priority is on the left of my nav ball. You see this is my throttle. Right now it's at 0. If I hold down shift, I put it all the way up. And then I'm going to hit T for my SAS. Even though I don't have any SAS aboard my rocket, it will still provide some semblance of stability so that my rocket won't sway nearly as much. And brace yourself, this might get a little bit loud. I haven't actually tested my audio levels, but these rockets tend to be quite loud. Now I hope I have enough thrust to weight to get actually off the ground. So this is going to be an interesting test, and we will launch in T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Now it's a bit slow, but as our solid fuels resources deplete, we're going to get lighter and we won't need nearly as much thrust. Now our first stage is almost depleted. Once that's done, I decouple it and I am on my second stage. And I'm going to do this until I hit about 10,000 meters above the surface. Just go straight up. While I'm here, let me make a crew report and send that out. And my solid fuel boosters are almost up. Now, this is my third stage. Let me throttle back a bit. I don't need nearly as much fuel because I'm going to let the solid fuel boosters do most of the heavy lifting. And 9,000 feet, we're at 10,000 feet. And now it's time for me to make a gravity turn. So I'm going to go along the east axis until I hit about 45 degrees, which is roughly here. Now that those solid fuel boosters are done, oh, I just hit sticky keys. Solid fuel boosters are done, so I have the throttle up a bit. And now let me go to my map. Now this is the map of Kerbal. Well, it's actually the map of the entire solar system. And here is my projected trajectory. And here is my apoapse, which is the highest point along the ellipse, in retrospect to the planet that I'm orbiting. So, in this case, it's my Kerbal apoapse. So I want to wait for that number here to reach more than 70,000 meters. Now my trajectory is a little shallow, but I think it's good. Let me aim a little bit higher, and that number should raise a bit. Now I'm running low on fuel. Let me just head back. Yeah, because unfortunately I can't decouple these solid fuel boosters. It's about half full. So I'm at 50,000 meters on my apoapse. And as it gets higher, it goes a bit faster. So 60,000 meters. And 70,000 meters. I'm going to go to 75,000 right there. And I'm hit X to kill my trajectory, or kill my engines. So that's a pretty standard launch. Now what I'm going to do here is add a maneuver right at the apoapse, zoom out a bit, and I'm going to pull my retrograde. Oh no, that's my prograde. I'm going to pull that out, and you see a little orange dashed line. I'm going to pull that until you see that, and then let it flip. Let me pull this out just a little bit more. 73 and 85. You know what? I'm usually really bad at making a circularized orbit, but that, I have to say, is pretty good. Now, adding that maneuver, put a little blue reticule on my nav ball like that. So what I have to do is aim for that ball, or aim for the blue, and then I have a minute burn, so I'm going to start burning now. Basically, I'm just burning along the horizon to increase my orbit around Kerbal, and as I burn, it's going to... Ooh, I ran out of fuel. So, detach that, and now I have my other stage going, and that's going to increase this orbit. Let me decrease my engines slightly. Now it's not a circular orbit anymore because I don't know why, to be honest, because I'm bad at this game probably. But there we go. I have a circular orbit. My periapse, which is the lowest point along the ellipse, is 71,000 meters, which is still in the out of the atmosphere. And then I have my apoapse, which is 163 meters. It's not great. Let me actually head here, add a maneuver. Let me see if I can't... Oh, sorry, that was the wrong way. I was going retrograde. I need to go prograde. That's 114. Let's see if I can't get this circular. 161, 160. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so before I just started burning right away. But now, this time, you can see onto the right of my nav ball, it says that maneuver node is going to be in 13 minutes. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be sitting around here staring at this planet for 13 whole minutes. But while I'm here, I'm going to send our brave little Kerbal explorer out of his shuttle. He's just hanging on. I'm going to right click on him and have him do an EVA report. And that was worth 8 signs. And I am floating above Kerbal's grasslands. So I'm going to keep that data, board the ship. I'm going to toggle crew report. And I'm going to transmit that data. Alrighty. So, as I was saying, I don't want to wait around here for 13 minutes, although I have to redo the node because I forgot about when you EVA, sorry, focusing, and it's at 163, 164, that's good. When you EVA, you lose your maneuver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the period key one time, and now I'm at time warp 5 times, which is moving the clock slightly faster. Now I'm going to hit it again. We're at 10 times. It's moving a little bit faster. Let me go back into the map mode. And I'll hit it one more time. Now it's going a lot faster. I'm going to stop this when it hits approximately a minute and change. Just like that. Now I'm at 50 seconds. Now I only have to do a slight burn of 70 meters per second. So now as I'm facing the blue reticule, it can't see because you see the what is it, the retrograde? No, that's the prograde vector and the horizon and all that stuff. But it's there. You could kind of see a bit of the blue, and that's what I'm targeting. And I have an estimated burn of 1 second, which is not a lot at all. So I'm going to start this burn at approximately 3 seconds to go, which is now. I'm going to just do a slight burn, then I'm going to kill my engines now. 161, 164, perfect. That's probably the best circular orbit I have ever gotten. And that's saying something, because I never am able to get a perfect circular orbit around Kerbal. It's always elliptical. Oh, and I'm on the dark side too. So let me time accelerate a bit until I get onto the light side of the planet. Let me just slow down time, do an EVA report. I'm going to right click, because now I'm over Kerbal's water. It's worth another 8 science points. And while I'm here, I'm going to observe the mystery goo as well, because that's worth 10 science points. The goo seems to have dumped into a sphere, and it also appears to have become brittle. I'm going to keep the data. I don't think I'm going to do much more, so I'm going to do the same mystery goo experiment on the other side, get another 10 science points. Now before I go back, I did the Kerbal grasslands and I did the water. And kind of like in Minecraft, there are different biomes. So this one is Kerbal's highlands. So I'm going to keep that data. I'm going to board. And I'm going to send another crew report and get some more points. Now I don't want to do too many more crew reports because otherwise I'm gonna not have electrical charge, because I don't have any way of regenerating electrical charge other than by firing up the engines. Firing up the engines actually gives you electrical charge, and if I don't have any electrical charge, then I can't use my command module's torque wheel. So let me time accelerate some more. This should be the desert. Let me do an EVA. Click on my little dude. High above Kerbal's desert. I'm going to keep the data and reboard my ship. Now there are other biomes, like on the top pole and on the bottom pole, or north and south if you will, are Icelands. There's also a Badlands, which I've been told from another YouTuber. Well, he didn't tell me specifically, but he mentioned it in one of his videos. But I am not exactly sure where it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my reticle. Oh shit. I'm gonna, yeah, I have to burn slightly to get a little bit of electrical charge, otherwise I'd be in a full uncontrollable spin. I'm gonna point my ship at the retrograde vector, which is this little marker here on the nav ball, and I am going to start my descent. I'm going to make my way back to Kerbal, and I'm actually going to try and land on or close to the space station. So I'm going to stop my acceleration right there. Now that's pretty close. And as I get closer and closer to the space center, the planet will actually rotate and get close. Plus I have a little bit of fuel left. Actually, I have quite a bit of fuel left to actually burn to lower my descent speed and actually get pretty close to the KSC. So let me time accelerate a bit. As I get close to this, I'm gonna see if maybe I can get a new EVA report right here. EVA report. Nope, that's the deserts. So I'm gonna keep that and board. I thought maybe that might have been Badlands, but I guess it's not. Let me slow down time and aim at the retrograde vector again, and then speed up time a bit more. See, as I was going, it's now my point of impact is in the shores, because right there is the KSC. So I'm going to land pretty close to where I took off. And now as I get to about 40,000 meters, I should start burning up in the atmosphere. Let me, yep, 30,000, sorry. Now, as of right now, since this is still an alpha, this does not have any effect other than it looking pretty awesome. Okay, so let me burn on the retrograde just slightly, because I'm just burning in the opposite direction of which I'm moving to try to lower my surface speed. I'm going to try to get about 100 meters per second. Raise the throttle a bit. Actually, I'm gonna try to get like that, and then I'm gonna kill the engine and then dump it, launch my parachute, and my rocket engine is going to fly to the ground, and I'm going to, actually, where am I landing? Looks like I'm going to land in a mountainy highlands. I think that might be bad, because if... Ooh, no, it's... Well, there's the ground, and my rocket just blew up. But here's... Well, I'll get a surface sample when I land. Even though it's going to be a surface sample of the planet that we currently reside in, it will still be extra science points nonetheless. So I'm going to do a little bit of time acceleration. I'm going to look straight down and see if I can see the shadow. I don't see anything yet. Oh, there it is. There's my shadow. And I have hit the ground. Now let me do a crew report. Sure, I'll send that crew report. I'll do a little EVA. I'll let go of my ship. Do an EVA report. And I'm going to take my surface sample from surface sample of the Highlands. I'm going to keep that data. And since this was the landing site of my first successful space flight in orbit, I'm going to plant a flag to commemorate that this was my landing site. I'm going to say first orbital flight here is where I landed successfully on my very first orbital flight around the planet. And there we go. There's my flag. So now let me walk over to my module, grab it, and enter. And now let me recover my vessel. That way I don't have to do it from the Space Center. And look at that. That little adventure through the planet, or around the planet I should say, not through it, gave me a whopping 88 science. Now, I mentioned before Scott Manley. This guy makes me look like I'm an idiot. On his very first mission, without the radial, or not the radial, the stacking decouplers, he got a total of 322 something science because he landed on Minmus. Now let me see if I can show you where Minmus is. Here's Kerbal. If I were to zoom out, you see this ring. This is the moon. Well, it's called Mun, but that is the moon around Kerbal. Zoom out a little bit more, you see another orbit. There is Minmus. That's where Scott Manley landed. Landed on there. Got a surface sample and made it back. That, my friends, is crazy. And then if I zoom out even more, you see there's Kerbal on its orbit around the sun, and we have Eve, we have Moho, we have Duna. What do we have here? Dress. And then we have two planets that collide, or not collide, but if you look at them from the top view, they have intersecting orbits, but I think on the side, yes, one's on an inclined plane. So they will never actually hit. We have one is Jewel, and then this one is Elo. And that is our solar system in the planet of Kerbal. So, one of these days, maybe on the next mission, I'm going to try and land on either the moon or Minmus. But until then, I think that was a very, very successful first and second, technically second mission, because our first mission was just sitting on the launch pad. But until then, I will see you next time, and please, if you like this video, please comment and subscribe. You don't know how much that really means to me. I love every single one of my subscribers, and I'm making these videos for you guys. I'm not making them for me. I'm enjoying making them, but these videos are for you. So until next time, this has been Vexian, and I will see you in episode number 2.